Hey, Mike McGroarty from Mike's Backyard Nursery here. So back, it's, I don't know, like May 17th or May 18th, 19th, something like that right now. Back in early or mid-April, I was in this area and I was showing you this cutting bed, and I had cuttings in here and you could barely see them, and I'm going to hopefully be able to splice a piece of that video in here to kind of give you an idea. But anyway, this is the cutting bed. And so what I want to show you today is I'm going to start taking these cuttings out of here. They're all rooted, of course. They're doing really well. That's a weed. So I want to get in here and start pulling them out, but I want to show you how to safely pull cuttings out of the cutting bed when they're not dormant. I mean, when they are not dormant. So these things are actively growing. They've got soft new growth on them. So basically, I pull them out, put them in bunches, pot them up in a container in bunches, and then I set them here next to the bed. And these misters right here are going to come on every 15 minutes for about 15 seconds and kind of wet them and keep them from wilting down, keep them happy, kind of nurse them for a period of days. And then from there, that'll harden them off and we can take them out of there, pot them out, and then put them back into the nursery. So anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to start pulling these things out of here and bunching them up and putting in those containers, and I'll kind of bring you along in that process as I do it. So I know that this is pink diamond hydrangea. There's some red prince weigela here, and then my tags are on the other end of the bed. Another hydrangea, Java red weigela, another hydrangea, variegated weigela, and then that stuff are the dappled willow and Annabelle hydrangea that I actually stuck this spring. So those were hardwoods and they really aren't rooted in yet. They'll be, I'll leave them alone for quite some time before. All right, so I'm gonna start popping some of these out of here, and then we will, these sprayers should be on in about a minute and a half or 2 minutes or something. So basically, I just take the spade along the edge, loosen the soil a little bit, and try and get them out of here without doing a lot of root damage. So if I get my hand underneath it there and then pop them up like that, you can see they're pretty well rooted. These are the pink diamond hydrangea. Oh, that's junk. So the secret is to try and not to do root damage, because the root damage is what causes the shock. It's like transplant shock. So we try and get them out without damaging roots. That one's still rooted in pretty well, so I'm going to leave it. So I put 20 in each container here, just to give us an idea of how many we've got to root. 19 and 20, put an extra one in there. So these, like I said, these were stuck about a year ago. This is how they spent the winter, completely uncovered, completely unprotected. This is northeastern Ohio. It was down to about 5 degrees last winter, so needless to say, these little tiny cuttings, because when I insert that other piece into this video, you'll realize that they look like nothing. You probably wouldn't have given me a nickel for the life of one of those things. So and there's the mister. So that should be like a 15-second duration. All right. And these weren't in there, of course, but I'll get them in here. They'll be in here for the next lap. Fine. Look at that thing. You know what? And that thing needs to be pruned. All of these need to be pruned, and normally I would prune them right now, but I actually am not going to prune them because in 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to want to get some cuttings off of here, so I'm probably going to let them grow. Of course, my wife's going to, if we got to pot them before then, she's going to, we got to prune those, so we'll see. But I don't have a lot to get cuttings from, so I probably am going to hold off on these, and then I can take cuttings. Believe it or not, we stuck these cuttings less than a year ago, and I could already take cuttings from them and get more plants from them. It's a crazy thing, and you know, I sell them really cheap because I put them in a small container, but even then, to take a stick, you can see that what I stuck was that right there. So we stuck that in the ground or in sand, and a year later we get $8 for it in a container, so, or a little more than a year, because we're going to pot them now. But people will definitely be buying these by the end of summer, because once we get them pruned, they're going to fill out really quickly. So these are those pink diamond hydrangea that I've been pulling out, and as you can see, this is the next morning, and they are not happy about being disturbed. They're wilting over a little bit. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to leave them. That's why I take them out, put them in a container, and then put them under mist, because that'll keep them happy. If they don't perk back up, it's no big deal. We can trim them and then pot them, and they'll be fine. So, but anyway, this is part of the hardening off process. So when I do get them potted and we put them out in the growing area, they don't fail. All right, so these are the pink diamond hydrangeas that I've been working on. I showed you in the previous video the ones that I did yesterday are wilting down. That one I actually like. So, but this one is a little bit lanky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to prune some of this soft, tender growth off the top. It depends on each plant, and that wasn't a good example. So here's one that is better. So what I'm going to do, if I cut it right there, this tip is going to die back. So I need to cut it back to right back above that leaf break. And this normally isn't the kind of pruning I do, because typically what I do is I line up all the stems kind of like that, and then I pull them up in a ponytail, and then I whack the tops off. And my wife hates it when I do it that way, but it works. And what that's going to do, that's going to force these plants to fill out. See, this is incorrect pruning the way I did it, because now these tips are going to die back. But I don't lose a lot of sleep over that, because as the plant grows, all of that's going to be engulfed, no one's going to notice that that's what happened. But anyway, that's the difference between how I prune them and how she would prune them, because she prunes everything meticulously like that, which is a good thing. It's just not, I'm not that patient, I guess. So, but anyway, I decided to prune them so they don't wilt down so much. So I think I'm going to go get the ones I did yesterday, pull them out, prune them up, and then take them back over there. So, all right, we'll move on from there. So these are, this is Java Red Weigela. This one is making flowers. They're going to be a little wilty because we've disturbed them, and then put them in. What I do is I put them in that I showed you, but we put about 20 in a container and mist them for a few days before we get them potted. So Tia, how many plants have you potted in the last month?
Well over 100.
100 an hour maybe. Yeah. We've done thousands and thousands of plants. So so pop those out. So this is the, I want to show you the roots on these. So there's probably 21 in there, right? Yep. So let's shake off something. So as you can hear, hold that up, I get a better shot of it. So these were stuck last June, so they were in the sand bed for just about a year. So we're going to pot them up, and they'll probably, what is it? It's Memorial Day weekend. So these things will probably be ready for sale definitely by the 4th of July. They'll be nice, and they probably might be in need of trimming by then. So anyway, this is Tia. She's been helping us out. She's doing a great job. Here, let's switch with the camera, and I will, okay. I'm going to explain to people what we got going on.
gloves
She's
off.
trying to get her gloves on. So we kind of got you in the middle, and if you're new to the channel, I think I'll put 3 links in the description down here, because we have a members area in there. You can watch the movie, but Dustin has a members area. That's my son. So you can buy this kind of stuff in the members area all day long. So you buy this, it's an amazing thing, because you can buy this for $1.25, $1.50, $2, whatever the seller's asking for. Pot it up, and within a matter of weeks be taking cuttings from it. Every cutting you take is potentially worth, we're getting $7.97 for these. So it's a nice little home business. And as I near true retirement, I'm trying to make this place small enough that it's going to become my hobby. So every one of these that I make is $7. If I do 100 in a day, which is almost nothing, it's like $700. So it's a great thing. I've been teaching this to people online for about 25 years. I turned the online business over to Dustin a couple of years ago, so he owns all of that. But anyway, I'm going to put a link in the description below. I'll put a link to our members area. There's a movie. You can watch the movie about that. I'm going to put a link to the propagation system that we use, because Dustin has a video that tells you exactly how to put that together, because you can root thousands and thousands of cuttings at one time with almost very, very little effort. It's just simple stuff that you can buy, 2 or 3 different components you can buy that makes it work perfectly. And what else am I going to put? I'm going to put a link to Dustin has it's called the Backyard Growers University, and what he did is he took about 17 years worth of content and kind of picked out the best stuff, the videos, because I started shooting video when he was about 10 years old. He's, I don't know, 40 something now, 43, 44, I think. But anyway, I started shooting videos back then, so he's taken a lot of those old videos and put them online, and there's all kinds of documents. So if you really are interested in this and want to learn about it, I'll put the 3 links down below and you can check them out. But anyway, I think that's it for now. Maybe I'll toss in a quick tour of the nursery to show you what we've potted here in the past few weeks. So this is the container area that, if you watch the videos I've done in the last few weeks, I completely redid this, put a French drain down the middle. So in here, there's all kinds of perennials that we potted. I'm not even going to try and list them all. This looks like Coreopsis. So, no, Echinacea. It's a parrot Echinacea. Now, these are pink diamond hydrangeas that Tia just potted. This is a climbing hydrangea that we just potted. And all kinds of stuff down through there. We've been really busy for the past 3 days. People have been non-stop buying plants, so that's always a good thing. Yesterday I spent all day at the cash register just waiting on customers. We've probably had, it's pretty early on Sunday, and we've already had about 4 customers today. So these are, this is Limelight Hydrangea, Java Red Weigela that we just potted. And along this bed, I've got a few stock plants. There's some Black-Eyed Susan here that I use for stock. I put in some Stella d'Oro Daylily that I can later divide. There's some Firewish Dianthus. And then down there, I've got 5 different hydrangeas of each hydrangeas that we grow that I can use for stock plants. There's Finnegan, he's mowing. So this big blue hosta right here, I'll get over here. The hosta off to the left is Big Daddy. It's got kind of a dappled or dimpled leaf, and then the big one right in the frame there is Blue Angel. This one is Humpback Whale. There's some salvia and perennial geranium. This one I don't know right off the top of my head, because they were given to me as trials to try out, so I'd have to check my map. This is a green cascade Japanese maple. That thing turns brilliant orange in the fall. This is Copper King Eucharella. There's some I'll just Dianthus, I don't remember the name, but it's over here. This is my stock bed of Snow Angel Coral Bells. I got some Victoria rhubarb in there. I've got, I think, 3 different kinds of iris, ornamental onion, Palace Purple, coral bells. And then you can't see them real well because they're just starting, but there's some. I'll walk over here, see a little better shot. So here's, this is morning light ornamental grass. So I dig these and divide them. I dug a bunch this spring and divided them. And that's crazy because, you know, it doesn't really get much easier than that. Dig it up and break it into pieces, pot it, and sell it for $8. This is a little business daylily. This is a red flowering daylily, and it's very compact, so that's pretty popular. This is a red rouge dianthus. There's some more daylilies, eeny weeny, trilata. These are some of the ornamental onions back here that I divided earlier. That's the grass. Those are just starting. These dianthus have been kind of picked over and are falling over. Blue mouse here is a mini hosta. I'll walk around because most of the signs are pointing that way. Mini skirt hosta. That's another mini hosta. This is Roseanne. It's a perennial geranium. This is Larope that I had dug and divided earlier. Salvia. We got a lot of hibiscus. There's a stilby, milk and honey stilby. This is airbrush effect hibiscus. They're just starting to pop, but what happens as soon as they get 2 or 3 inches of growth on them, somebody buys them. So that's kind of a battle we fight every year, but people are happy to get them. Peach blossom is stilby. We have a ton of coneflowers this year because they've always been a big hit. Prince Charming butterfly bush is another real popular plant. Electric red dianthus. This is butterfly bush. I'll pull the tag because I can't read the sign. Queen of Hearts. There's some coreopsis. More. This is another butterfly bush. This is pink cascade. So a lot of these perennials I buy as plugs and just pot them up. It's much easier and much more dependable. And then a lot of, so like underneath it there, you can see, I forgot I had them, but here's a couple flats of snow angel coral bells that I did last summer. And then hellebores here. We got 3 different colors of hellebores. So anyway, that's the coral bells I did last summer. We got to get those potted up. I'll walk around because if you watch my tree hydrangea video, or I did a video early in the spring about doing hydrangeas from trees and cuttings. So these are the tree hydrangeas. These are phantom. These were rooted. I got them divided. I got them potted up. So I'll sell these later in the year when they develop a little bit of a head. I gotta get a stringer on there to secure them to that frame so they're not blowing over. These are the ones that are tied up there. Those are the phantom. Those are not rooted. Those are some that I just stuck early this spring, so they're not ready to sell yet. They won't be ready to sell until next year. I'll leave them in that container and then I'll get them out in next year. So this is my propagation bed. There's a lot of weeds on this end. Don't look at that. And the only thing in here now are a couple of things that I stuck earlier this spring. So to the right, you're looking at Annabelle hydrangea. I didn't get a great stand on those. I did them a little bit late, and we had a pretty cold winter. It was down to 5 degrees here, so some of the wood might not have been perfectly healthy. And then this is dappled willow. I'll show you the dappled willow, my stock plant, though, because it's amazing right now. And I completely sold out of dappled willow yesterday, so here I am kicking myself for not doing more. This is what Tia has been potting that we pulled out of this propagation bed. So anyway, this is what I think I accidentally shut the camera off. So okay, pink diamond hydrangea. So there's like 20, 21 in each pot there. We got 3 more pots of those to do. And red prince weigela. Those are limelight hydrangea. These right here are Java red weigela. Really, really pretty plant. I don't have any around here in bloom. I'd show you. This is a variegated weigela, another really, really pretty one. It's in bloom. And then this is silver dollar hydrangea. That's a great big snowball type flower hydrangea. And this is what I have for stock over here. This is my climbing hydrangea. My son's got a beautiful one that's completely covering the fence. He got the plant from me. So you can see this thing is starting to make some flowers. His just completely covers the the fence and is loaded with bloom. So I'm going to text him right now and tell him to send me a picture of that when it's in full bloom. And then this is my stock plant dappled willow. This is why you can see all the different color variations in this thing. So this new growth here is pink, and this is a little bit different. The dappled willow is a great plant. It grows, it's kind of like grows big like forsythia. It gets really big, but it's people like it for that reason, because they use it as a boundary. They'll put it on their property line to kind of give them some privacy from the neighbors. It's not an evergreen, but if you live in the north, you understand that nobody really pays much attention to what's going outside in the winter time. So, but anyway, that's dappled willow. That thing will get 7 to 8 feet tall. I think I'm going to come out here with hedge trimmers and kind of shape it up a little bit and keep it a little bit smaller. And then when I get cuttings next year, they'll actually be a little bit smaller diameter, which would be a good thing. So, but anyway, I think I'm going to wrap the video up here. Don't forget about the 3 links that I'm putting down below. One's for the propagation system, one's for our members area, and the other one is for Dustin's Backyard Growers University that he put together. If you're interested in learning about this as a business, then those are great places to be. So anyway, until next time, and by any and all means, stay inspired. So I went ahead and trimmed that dappled willow, because I told you I was going to. You can see I cut off most of the color, but don't worry, it will flush back out again and it'll look great. But I figured I'd throw this in here to kind of give you an idea what I'm going to do with it, and then maybe later this summer I'll get another shot of it.